that I am called the Count, because I really love to.
Welcome back to another episode of the GC Informer. I am Snowy, otherwise known as Count Fracula, and today we're going to talk about some little strange things, some fun things, and how I'm the best newscaster. What was that last bit? I don't know where that came from. Moving on, we will start today with a little mention of the game Papers, Please. A beautiful little bureaucracy them up. A 30 meg download on Steam, a very cheap game, and probably one of the best indie titles that you can actually just go and buy. A short film of the game is being made by some people, and Lucas Pope, the developer of the game, he's not involved, but he's given his blessing to it, and he's sort of watching it being done from afar. A little teaser got released for it, which basically just like, hello Papers, Please, with the main character in his station. And there was also some production stills that got just posted on Lucas Pope's Twitter account. I want to see this. There's no release date given, but yeah, a little short film on what is a very good game, and they could do something really fun with this, and I really hope they do. So keep an eye on the Papers, Please short film. In more annoying news, Sonic Mania has been delayed. Yay! As someone who pre-ordered the game the other day and was really looking forward to playing it on the 15th, because that's very soon. It's like, what is this, 4 days away, and now it's been delayed by 2 weeks to the 29th instead. I am not a happy bunny about this. Of course, I'm sure there's perfectly legitimate reasons for it being delayed, probably just patching in, like just making the performance a little bit better, optimizing it. This is just the PC release, incidentally, which is the one I'm getting, not the console release. But, you know, they need to tweak the PC release, and it's been delayed by 2 weeks. I'm not happy about it, but I know that it's probably a thing that needs to happen. What we did get today, though, was a little sort of glimpse of the opening animation to the game. This may well present itself in the style of older games where if you left the start screen for so long, an animation would start playing, or like little compilations of gameplay. This animation is frankly, it's really nice. I really love this animation. It's sort of 1 minute 30 long. I'm probably putting it on the screen now, to be honest. And you can watch it, and it's glorious and lovely, and it's very Sonic. It's just, makes me smile. And then the game giveth and the game taketh away by being delayed. I just want to play it. It looks really good. Also, don't pre-order games. Don't do as I say, not as I do. I pre-ordered Sonic Mania because I really want to play it, but I know I shouldn't. So, it's going to be a mistake, isn't it? Moving from one disappointment to another, No Man's Sky. Oh God, I hope there's no Sky fanboys in our community. Oh dear. No Man's Sky is finally living up to one of its most touted promises, sort of. In a large update, it's the 1.3 update, if I am correct. It is, yes, 1.3. The 1.3 update will add limited multiplayer and a 30-hour, apparently, I'm saying 30 hours, 30 hours story campaign. As well as this, they're adding procedural missions, so if you're sort of a member of a guild within the game, then you can access missions from that guild. They're all procedural, randomly generated, and at the same time, could that go really wrong? Kill 10 things on the other side of the universe to you. I wouldn't really be a fan of that, to be honest. As I said, the multiplayer is only a sort of fulfillment of the promise because it is incredibly limited. You will now actually be able to interact with other players, but only at sort of very specific points, and you can access some of these points through new portals which are being added. I think it's just very unlikely, and you can congregate around these portals. They've not made it too clear, as Hello Games seem to be very good at doing. You can't actually sort of properly interact with other players. You won't be able to see another player and it'd be like their avatar, their spacesuit, whatever else, and be like, yes, that's them, and then you could shoot them in the face. You can't do that. Instead, you see a glowing blue blob for the other player. That's what the other player is, a glowing blue blob which you can talk to and sort of semi-interact with, which is... it's a start. They are planning to implement full multiplayer interactivity eventually, but for some reason this is not a thing that they can do at the moment. I'm sure there are reasons for all of this, by the way. I'm sure like there's a big overarching reason why the multiplayer couldn't happen, but they never ever said that it wouldn't happen, and they never ever owned up to the fact that they promised it and it didn't happen. Well, they sort of promised it. They basically implied it to the point where you go, yes, that's a thing that's going to be there. That's a whole other... we could go on about Hello Games all day, but we're not going to do that. Another addition which I quite like is the fact that you will now actually be able to crash your ship. Previously, if you were going around a planet on your spaceship, you could only go so far down, which I'm presuming is to sort of like the point of the highest bit of terrain on the planet, and you could only go as low as that without having to do a special landing sequence where the AI, like the computer, takes over your ship and lands it for you safely. Which, God, that's so dull! That's the worst thing they could have done. That's really stupid. They have now rectified this, or they will be rectifying this, and you can actually fly as low as you like and crash your ship if you fly like a twat. So, good. You can now do some skilled flying around low bits of terrain and go through canyons and whatever, which is what a lot of people wanted and expected and didn't get, which is kind of this game's MO, really. I don't really know if this will all save the game and make me want to buy it. I don't think it will, because I just don't like the core gameplay loop of a massive, massive grind. It's not something that appeals to me in any particular game. So that's what put me off buying No Man's Sky, and I don't think that that's going to change, even though a lot of these updates sound like positive developments. The final bit of news I'm going to mention today is Nintendo related. They've been hit with another lawsuit. This lawsuit is to do with the Joy-Cons on the Switch and how they were made, and a company seems to think that Nintendo ripped off the Joy-Con design from them. The company in question is called Game Vice, who are responsible for the Wikipad. The Wikipad, which is a sort of... I don't really know what it is. It's very odd. I'm just looking at it now. So yeah, the actual tablet is called the Wikipad, and for the Wikipad, which is a gaming tablet, they have also designed some clip-on controllers which will sort of clip onto the sides of the tablet and allow you to play games with controllers like that. While this looks a little bit similar to the Switch's design, at the same time there's a lot of differences because, for instance, these clip-on, like literally clip onto the side like that, whereas the Joy-Cons have to be sort of slotted down neatly into a thing. They also don't really look like, there's not a lot of stylish, like aesthetic similarities between them. There's sort of a similar-ish shape, but I don't know. Also worthy of note is the fact that Nintendo have been playing around with the basic idea of the Switch since 2012, which is longer than the Wikipad has been out, to the best of my knowledge. And that kind of kills it for me, because the early Wii U designs were very similar to this, where they had two Wiimotes on the side of a big screen pad thing, which, you know, the Wii U didn't end up doing that, but that was the early design. So they've been playing around with this design for a long time. This lawsuit isn't going to go anywhere. Nintendo obviously could sort of develop this on their own, but these people happen to develop a similar design. Hey, I might be wrong actually, but that's my opinion on it. So that's all for this episode of the GC Informer. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a like, a subscribe, a share, whatever you fancy, or a dislike if I offended you in some fashion, probably about No Man's Sky. If you'd like to join our community, we have a Discord server. There'll be a link down in the description if you want to do that. Also, I have a channel where I post Let's Plays occasionally, and I have starting an archive of my live streams that you can see on an end card. And other than that, we've got some Let's Plays coming up later on, and please just stay tuned to GameCast for more content, and I will see you next week, and tomorrow you will have Max for more news.